Okay guys, it's February 2016. I'm going to do a review on some long-range shooting stuff I've been playing around with. And I'm sure a couple guys have some of the products here, and I'll go through them to tell you what I found out about it. I'll talk about the positive, and I'm also going to talk about the negative on some items. So it'll give you a heads up on a couple of these things. One is I'm running a 7mm that I've customized fairly well. Everything's bedded on the action, everything's rails bedded, the action's bedded, everything's leveled, everything's been plumb bobbed, everything's been ladder tested on both guns. And so the 7mm shoots about 3/4 MOA. The Lapua 338 and the Savage shoots, I'd say it shoots absolutely a half MOA. So I'm running Berger 168 grains. Phenomenal. They work unbelievable. It's a 168 in the 7mm, and in the 338 Lapua I'm using the 250 grain, both hunting rounds in the, I don't know, I think it's the VLD match or whatever it is. And we'll talk about this Caldwell tripod. I found that it works really well at probably 600-700 yards. You get a little bit shaky past that, but definitely a neat little item. I've shot both my deer out of this year at 500 yards each. Does really well. I pack that up with me, and I pack a chair because I'm sitting half the time, because where I'm at, it's not really a good area to lay prone. Hard to believe, but because I'm right on the side of a hill. So those are really great, about 700 yards and out. You know, you could try one at 1,000, but there's some shake to it, but not bad. Next review I'll do is this something I just bought. It's called a bipod buddy. First day trying it, works really good. There's some pluses and negatives. Mainly the thing I would say about it is the negative is you got to practice with it. I just got it out today. Bags are obviously a lot more sturdy, but not everyone's going to bring a bag out with them. So I would highly recommend this, but practice with it a little bit. But it's about $50, lifetime warranty, made in America. And that's from, I think, made in Montana. So those guys did a really good job on that. Okay, so let's talk about the best here. And a lot of guys, I haven't seen a lot of reviews on them, just what the guys made. It's the G7 BR2. It's the Generation 2. It's the newer one they have. Called those guys up, and they said there's not much of a difference between the Generation 1 or 2. You can just run mils. It's added mils on this one. And let's see what else here. They said it's a little bit more accurate. But between a lot of guys, I would just say get the Generation 1 if it's on sale or if it's still out there. Okay, so the negative I found out, it's not necessarily with the G7. We'll talk about my 7mm. At low ranges, 400 yards, I'm shooting low. Okay, so then at 600 yards, I'm shooting dead on. But then at 900 yards, I should be shooting low again. Well, I'm shooting high. I have messed with the muzzle velocity in the G7 BR2 rangefinder, up and down, and you can't go lower at the low range because it'll bring your MOA up. The problem is, if it brings it up, then I'll be off at 900. I found that the Berger VLDs and the 168 grain, it's not necessarily their bullets, but it's my gun possibly. My gun, it's not a velocity issue, it's a BC issue, so I'm going to have to go in there, and you can manipulate the ballistic coefficient on the G7 BR2, so the velocity doesn't work for the 7mm, so I'm going to have to just trial and error and try to find a BC that's a little bit less than what they say, because the velocity won't work on it. Now, when it comes to, and once again, that's not the Berger maybe necessarily, maybe it's just my gun. Now when it comes to the 338 Lapua, the BC is dead on. I just found a velocity, I'd slowly creep up or creep down from what the chronograph first recommended, and they are right. You do have to calibrate it to the rangefinder. Chronograph just gets you so close, and that's 10 feet out. So from there, I would do maybe 10-15 feet per second faster. I found a velocity that works perfect. I locked that solution in. Now it's set for life, and now I wanted to validate it and try it at 6 for 900, 1,000, and it's holding dead on. I mean, scary accurate, extremely accurate. So I just took 2 shots up there, and I'll show you that, and I'll take one more with the Lapua. And one more review on that G7 BR2. I went ahead and bought a wind meter from Caldwell just to verify, because one item might not necessarily be right. You just never know. Technology, computers go bad, everything does sometimes. So I checked the altimeter and the barometric pressure and the temperature on both units, and they both jive. They're very close. I would call it spot on. So just to verify, maybe it's good to have 2 instrumentations when you first buy something, just to verify, or if you have a friend that has one, to make sure that they're working and they're both spot on, so I know that that won't create an issue. Okay, I'm going to get set up here. This shot's roughly 900 yards. There's 2 impact points. The one to the 2 o'clock position is going to be the 7mm, so I'll have to figure that out later. And I just took a shot with a 338 Lapua. It's probably a little bit, maybe the 11 o'clock position. And so I haven't changed anything on the Lapua, so second shot should be dead on. And this will show you the fruits of the labor of that G7 BR2. So give me a second, guys. I'm going to have to get set up here. Okay, so you can see the bullseye, the one at 11 o'clock position. That's the 338 Lapua. I mean, it's probably from the bullseye to the top is 7 inches. And there's wind out today. I got about 10-mile-an-hour wind. It's kind of going back and forth. Nothing aggressive, but it shows you that Lapua, the G7 BR2 also, I mean, it's holding really dead on, half MOA at 4, 6. So we'll go ahead and take this next shot. I might pull it because I know I'm on the camera here, but I'll be fully prone, and I'll just be on sandbags. So the second shot should be close to that one at 11 o'clock position. So give me a second here to set up. Okay, I'm on target. Parallax is adjusted. Scope is level. Ten seconds. Wow.